Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori and today I wanted to do a short video on, I know sometimes I say short videos and they end up being like 20-25 minutes long, but today is going to be hopefully a shorter video. I just wanted to come on and talk about remembering who we are. And we hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. I hear it from myself. I hear it from my guides. I hear it from on the internet. And I took a 4-day kind of retreat in where I shut off from all things outside of me. I turned off my internet, my phone, music, all that. And I just sat for 4 days with myself and was outside a lot. And I kept hearing, remind them of who they are, remind them of who they are, remind them of who they are. And so that's what I wanted to do this video on. Always remembering as I'm speaking and reminding all of us of who we are, that we are also very dense human beings on the planet too. So we are also feeling our emotions, a lot of us pretty intensely right now, on purpose. That's the purpose of all of this, of waking up, right? So, and I talk about holding many different realities, and this is one of them, is to really deeply remember who we are, and that we're very dense third-dimensional beings, having a very human experience and moving through some really challenging moments right now and experiences. But it's extremely important for us to always come back to remembering who we are, to get that bigger picture. So here's a little reminder for all of you, or for anyone that needs it right now. You're not here by mistake, and you know that. This is all some stuff you know, right? So it's just a reminder. It's everything you know, everything you've heard, but let it just sink in. Let it just really sink in. That you're not your human experience. You're not your physical body. You're literally a light. You're light. Your consciousness. You are Source or God or Buddha, whatever you call that, which is the beginning of everything. Your spark of that, your piece of that, literally inside of your physical form is a spark of that divinity, of that pure love consciousness, of that light, of God, of Source, of all that ever was, all that ever will be. Expressing yourself in your own individual, unique way through a human body, because that is the experience you wanted. You wanted to experience the earth plane and this duality and this dense dimensional experience. What does it feel like to have all these different emotions? What does it feel like to be in a really dense physical form? Remembering that you're light, okay? And light is now constricted, so you are now constricted in this physical form to experience, okay? You also volunteered to come down here. Most of you watching this volunteered. You either volunteered prior to coming down on the physical plane, volunteering from a planetary system, volunteering from a star system, volunteering directly from Source, okay? Every single one of you have your own unique individual spirit paths, spirit spark from Source paths. And many of you may have been traveling along into different systems of light, star systems, different planetary systems, experiencing all different stuff as that light, as that spark, which is the same spark that's inside your physical form right now. This same spark that's inside of me is also the same spark, the same light that is me when I'm with Source, which there is no differentiation, which is the me, whatever me is, right? That spark, that light. In, let's say, the Palladian system when I lived there. Lived is not really a term you would use in that system of light, but that's the human term we use. Or maybe I ventured over into, in the Andromeda star system, right? or other systems to experience it. There's millions. You can't even comprehend the amount of light out there, star systems out there that you may have journeyed into as a spark of source. And so Earth plane is just one of those realities, one of those experiences. So I'm not exactly sure where you specifically came from, but you either came from one of these systems and volunteered directly to come down and be a volunteer, or you wanted to play. You wanted to experience this. So let's say you were from a star system like Sirius, and you knew there was this Earth quote unquote playground that was around in a solar system of light that was experiencing a physical form with the light inside of it, and you were wanting to experience that. So as a being in the Sirian star system, you were like, I want to experience that next. So you didn't volunteer to be a volunteer. So the difference is a volunteer came in the last couple hundred years, for the most part, and volunteered to assist humanity and the Earth to ascend back into its original state, which is that fifth dimensional space and that fifth dimensional state of being. Original state, I'll go into that in more detail in another video, but so you didn't come, so you either came down to be a volunteer to assist humanity in the ascension, and this would be like the last, 500 years, somewhere in that time frame. Time is a little bit construed and blurry, but specifically for this purpose of waking humanity and the planet up and raising the light quotient so that it can get into that fifth dimensional realm again. Or you came down here thousands of years ago or any time in between that state of time, to just experience Earth, right? I want to be in this playground. I want to experience what this is like. And as a human being, you're thinking to yourself, why the heck would I ever want to do that if I'm this bright being of light, vibrating at such a high frequency, let's say in the Sirian star system? Why would I want to come and experience this? But you have to understand that as a spirit, light in the Sirian star system, this is interesting. This is like, wow, what does this mean? What does this look like? Holy cow, your light can be in this physical form. You can walk around in a physical form. You can have karma. You can have interactions and contracts with individual people that you have to work through things through. All of that was exciting to us as spirits. So you may be one of those that came down, let's just say 20,000 years ago, right, to experience this. And most likely when you came down, you came onto the Atlantis continent or the Lemurian continent. And it was a higher vibrational frequency than the third dimension. It was in a fifth dimensional frequency. So you came into a more enlightened or evolved species than we are right now. And you played, you experienced all of this. And then there was the fall, right? So Earth shifted down into a third dimensional frequency, and so did the human being. And there are many of you that at that time had the option of volunteering to come back, reincarnate, go into that reincarnation cycle, and volunteer to assist at this time. So you didn't originally come down to volunteer. Excuse me, my microphone. You didn't originally come down to volunteer, but once the planet shifted into that third dimensional space, that fall from grace, and humanity started to shift and disconnect and move into a lower frequency, that's when you began to volunteer. That's when you said, there was an option to volunteer at that time. There was also an option to go back into the system that you were at, or there was an option to just go back into this other realm, this third dimensional space that the Earth was going back into and humanity was going into, not back into. This was the first time Earth has actually been in this dense state. But you could also choose to just go in and kind of experience this reincarnation cycle and move through Earth's sort of shift back into the fifth dimension. So there's many different avenues as spirit you could have taken. Whether you came in 25,000 years ago, whether you came in 1,000 years ago, whether you came in on Lemuria and then decided to volunteer, or whether you came in just most recent, straight from a system of light to be specifically just a volunteer light worker. There's a gamut of options, and every single one of us is unique in that path, in the path that we're on. And so as we are moving through our, kind of trudging, kind of like really slowly just forcing ourselves through this existence right now and really feeling a lot, thank God for that. We are also these beautiful, ginormous, expansive beings of light held in a really, really, really tight little spark in a very, very, very dense form, all coming down for a very specific reason. You didn't just haphazardly find yourself on the planet. Everything that's happening to you isn't just like coincidence, like, oh my God, look at all these things that are happening around me. Poor me, I'm a victim. None of that is true. This is all a beautiful picture that you painted for yourself, that you contracted. All the experiences, all the positives and the negatives, all the lessons that you've learned, everything that you're moving through and going through. And so as we are remembering and waking up, it's extremely, extremely, extremely important to remember this. To remember that you didn't just get dropped down onto this planet, and you are running around like, why did I do this? Why am I here? Why did I choose this? When we first started to wake up, a lot of us were in this mentality like, why? Why would I do this? Why would I choose this? Why is this happening to me? This sucks. I wish I never volunteered, And some of us may still be in that, and it might kind of come and go, right? But there has to be a time and a shift where it's like, okay, I'm in. This is it. This is the last go around, the last hurrah, and it's a gift. It's actually a gift that we gave ourselves as spirit to be here. It's an opportunity that we gave ourselves to be here right now, and we are being watched and looked at as this amazing experiment that is happening. You have to understand that an entire system is shifting from a lower vibrational frequency to a higher vibrational frequency with all kinds of crap happening in between it. And so it's an amazing sort of movie that everybody's watching from above. All these beings are watching. And we're here doing it. We're here participating. We're here shifting this. We're here shifting this. So you are not just a physical form moving through your emotions. Processing, healing, and clearing out your emotions. That is not all of who you are. You are a piece of source, a piece of oneness, a piece of light, a spark, whatever you want to call it, inside, moving through and living this experience, soaking in this experience as the light, soaking it in, and remembering the reason you as that light spark chose this. Always keeping that in the back of your head, why you chose this. I chose this. I don't know why sometimes, but I chose this. And deeply, deeply beginning to remember and connect to where you came from, right? We all came from source. At one point or another. Some of us go back to source and then go to a different system, or go back to source and then come back down to earth. There's so many options as spirit in terms of how you want to navigate the light, your light, right? There's no direct path. This is how it is, and this is how it is for every single light. That's not it. So your light's experience is very different. But my gosh, we are in a very dense physical form, on a very dense sort of matrix, trying to peel our way through it, kind of peeling away the layers. And remembering whether you came from Most recently, the Palladian system, straight down to volunteer. Whether you came down 25,000 years ago to really play out in this playground of light and density and form and magic, and you came onto the Atlantis continent or the Lemurian continent, right? And you got to experience all this, and then you watched the fall, and you watched the continents sink, and you watched all of these beautiful beings choose what they were going to do next. And you volunteered and you said, you know what, I'm going to help. I'll go in, I'll go down, I'll sink, and I'll assist. I'll be on the planet to assist it to a higher state of frequency. And that's what you're doing right now, right? And perhaps you're straight from source and you're miserable and you're depressed and all you want to do is just go back, and that's it. You know, beautiful. Just remember that. Just remember that. Remember that you're from source, straight from source. And what a gift. What an amazing, miraculous gift you are that you came into a physical form just to be here, just to hold the light. You know, just to hold the light. It's amazing. It's powerful. It's powerful to just remember. It's powerful to just remember. And then move on with your day. And then do everything else that you're going to do as a human being. But don't forget who you are. Don't forget the choice you made. You know, you're not being thrown around out there haphazardly, you know, trying to figure it all out. It's all in here. It's all in here. The spark of who you are, the spark of your light, source is right in here. You're carrying it around with you. And a lot of it can feel like words until you actually start to go in and sort of experience it and feel it. But a lot of you know this to be your truth, right? And so you can sit in meditation or you can sit quietly and you can just feel that alignment. You can feel that connection. You know this is who you are. And just tapping into that helps. It just helps. So I hope this was useful. I hope this was a quick little reminder of who we all are in this big game, in this big movie that we're going through. I'm all about getting that bigger picture and remembering the bigger picture always, as we still stay very in touch and grounded in our human experience, right? And our emotions and really processing and moving through whatever it is that you're doing. Not processing, but, you know, clearing out and moving through the dense emotional human experiences that we've had build up with us and within us from this life or past lives. Let me know how this feels for you. Comment below. Let me know. Resonates, doesn't resonate, knew all this, didn't know all this. I don't know. Maybe let me know where you think you're from. What system are you from? Are you straight from source? How do you even know, right? I can do a video on how would you even know? How do you know if you're from a star system or straight from source? How do you know? It's a good question. And I can tap into that in another video. We're courageous for being here. We're courageous for being here. We're warriors and we're doing it. So don't forget. Don't forget. And until the next time, I will wish you all a very beautiful, beautiful day or evening, wherever you may be in the world. And keep remembering. Keep remembering. All my love to you. Bye.